computer. Okay, perfect. All right, let's get going. We're a little slim on attendance today. I think we got 8 or 9 people, so they're going to miss out on these huge announcements. So I'll have to make some posts on social media, and we'll be sure to catch the recording and post it. So let's start with some shout outs. Michelle, I thought she was in the air. I don't know how she's on the line.
I'm at the airport.
Oh, you're at the airport. Okay. There she is. Okay, and happy anniversary, by the way. I don't know if that was today or the other day. Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Cut now. Sorry.
All right, I'm going to give some shout outs. I'm going to mute everybody, and if you would like to speak up, just unmute yourself. You guys know how this works. So obviously we didn't have a call last Sunday because I was in the air. And this coming Sunday, we probably won't have a call either. So we'll have one today, and then we'll skip next week, and then we'll do the following week, because I will be driving back from an Ohio Super Saturday to catch a family event that afternoon, and I'll have been gone all weekend. So probably need to give my husband a little time too that evening, because we've both been traveling, and he's in Atlanta now, so we've just kind of been like okay, shout outs. So I want to give 2 big shout outs today. My first huge shout out goes to Christine Manukin. I see that she's on the line. Gosh, I mean, there's so many things to highlight here, but I think the biggest thing is just for you, Christine, just putting a stake in the ground and saying, and you guys were witness to this a couple of months ago when she said, I'm going to do a Super Saturday. I want it to be my own. I know there's big millionaires here, and I'm going to choose a date between theirs, because I can build to it. I can recruit for it, and then bring them all to the millionaires event, the next couple of weeks. So Christine, I love that you were bold and you went forward over on the West Coast, feeling somewhat isolated and saying, you know what, I'm just gonna build it and they'll come. And so, having that group, huge group this past weekend, and just maximizing every minute that we were together. And I know you've already got a consultant created from this, and you're doing another Super Saturday in Miami. You're maximizing your time when you're there with your mom. I just want to give you a huge shout out. And it is no small feat to lift something like that up off the ground. I know Tammy Fry and Heather and Jennifer Bartram can speak from experience on this, but totally worth it, because you have created confidence and posture and culture there. And part of it is just owning it and putting a stake in the ground as this is a legitimate business. And it's such a legitimate business that I'm going to run an event and I'm going to invite people to come take a look. And so that's what it takes. And so I just want to give you a huge shout out, and just being a massive action. And you're just growing and shining, and it just makes me so happy. So congrats. I also want to give Jennifer Bartram, she's not on the line right now, but I want to give her a huge shout out for her product overview last week. She stepped up and did an overview, and I got great feedback from Susan Miller and Jessica Johnson, and what an amazing job she did. You have to be careful. If you do too good of a job, you'll be asked to do it again over and over again. But she did a great job. So just wanted to give a huge shout out to her. And then Tammy and Jennifer, I know, are working feverishly to get ready for their event this weekend in Ohio. So just wanted to give you girls a huge shout out for the work that you're doing, and that's that. So does anybody else want to give any shout outs to teammates, anything awesome you've been seeing, or any support you've gotten from each other that you just want to recognize?
Hey guys. Hey Melissa, I want to first of all say, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I just literally walked home from work. First of all, shout out to you for literally coming across town to be with us. It means literally the world to me. And we spend, like you said, we maximize our time. And you know what? I'm doing exactly the same thing with Susanna. I literally found out I'm flying in 3 days ago to Florida. And I said, listen, you've always commented saying, oh, I wish we were close by. Oh, I wish we had a teammate. Oh, I wish this, I wish that. I said, I'm coming there. I don't know what my week is going to look like, but there's no events happening in March 9, which is the corporate day for any events throughout the, all the states. There's nothing happening in Miami. Let's just do something. Let's find a place, either if like one person shows up, let's just do something. Let's do it at your house, something. Let's just do it. So she's like freaking out, like, what do you mean? We're doing an event? Okay, sure. I'm like, let's just do it, and then she was like, well, there's this yoga thing that they do outdoors in Miami, and people do vendors like right after the yoga, and it's free. I was like, get into action. Let's contact a person. So I want to give a shout out to her for stepping out of her craziest, like uncomfortable zone. This girl is like, I don't know what she's afraid of, but she has so much to offer, but she's still like holding it back. And I know she's going to listen to this. But again, I was like, go, like, just go. Don't worry about the details. Just go. We're doing the data set. So anyway, she contacted the person. We are officially, instead of doing an event at her house, which I was originally planning to do, but we're actually going to be more in public. So we don't even have to worry about inviting people. And we did reserve our spot with the, this yoga people. Over 200 people are going to be at the yoga because apparently this is a thing. So we are going to have a table in the booth, and we're going to be doing the yoga and also giving out stuff at the end to all these people. So I don't know what's going to come out of this, but again, we're just doing it. So I don't want to hear people saying, I don't know anybody and I don't know where to start. So yes, you can start small or big. So, and so a huge shout out to her.
That's awesome. Way to go. Well, and it's so true. It just starts with putting a stake in the ground, right? And then you just figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
My analogy to that would be Jake and I trying to figure out what we're going to do for our anniversary trip. And one of my friends who travels a lot, I was like, do we go to Iceland or do we go to Ireland? Like, can't really decide. And his comment was, just book the ticket and then figure it out. He's like, just book it. And then you'll do the research and you'll make it happen. And it's no different with this business. You just book the event and then you get into massive action because you've already committed to it, right? And so, and
don't overthink it.
No, right.
Don't overthink it, you guys. Don't. Like, this is like the biggest thing. Like, it takes a lot to just go, and not everybody can just go. But let me tell you, it's so much easier than it looks. Like, it's like doing your first cleanse day and you don't know what to expect. Just do it, and just trust the process. Just go for it. So that's what I just want to say.
Like Christine, Christine has a great deck that we put together for her event. Jennifer Bartram and Tammy have a great deck I'm finalizing. You don't have to recreate the wheel, right? You can borrow people's agendas and go from there. So awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Also, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Louisa because she hopped on a plane and flew over there too.
Yep.
I just love her presence, and it was so great to spend some time with her and share that bubbly mango champagne of some sort while we were working on that night and eating Armenian donuts. They're like still with me, I think. But anyway, awesome. All right. Any other shout outs from the team? Anybody want to give any more shout outs? I know Katie Chong is going to catch the recording at some point. So just huge shout out to her for going to Celebration in Australia. Would love to hear her nuggets. I know she's been sharing some cool stuff. I know she's in a completely different time zone, but if there's a way we could work her, being on this call for 10 or 15 minutes one day soon, it would be awesome just to catch her nuggets. All right. I was dreaming. What did you say? Those Armenian donuts, right? And those frozen little desserts, those were good too. All right. So let's dive into content then. If there's no more shout outs, let's dive in. Today is really about Q&A and you bringing questions and we can, as a team, kind of address. We've got a couple of leaders on the line so we can kind of group think. But before we do that, I wanted to announce a couple things. So who knows when the Crystal Director deadline is? When is it, Cindy? I see you waving your hand. You got to unmute yourself.
March 10th, next Saturday or Sunday.
That's right, March 10th. So Who's close? Who's hustling? Who's got it mapped out? Guys, I've enrolled so many people in the past couple of weeks. I'm right there with you, trying to work with them and convert them to consultants right now. So the deadline is March 10th. We have 7 days. I suggest you get into your back office, first of all, and look at your potential customers that could go consultant. One of the first things I do is look at who's a product user that maybe has enrolled a spouse. You know, that's like really low-hanging fruit to circle back to people and say, hey, you know, it's great that you love these products. I'd love to show you how you can eat for free just by sharing with one other person so we can unleash the compensation plan so you can begin getting money back for the volume that runs through your business. And you can do that even if they don't have a spouse enrolled. You know, look in your back office. I'm going to be doing it like mad this week, messaging all my avid product users who've never been consultants, but they religiously order every month and have. It's worth a conversation, and I'll be happy to craft some verbiage. If you guys want to borrow it, I can dump it into our messenger thread and on Facebook, and you can copy and paste. But it's definitely worth the effort to go look for that. So, and the other thing is, so there's a couple of things that hopefully are going to put you guys in a massive action. So obviously we've got the Crystal Reset for Director that ends on Sunday. So that should be forcing us to really push for creating consultants right now. But we have some things in our toolkit that we can use this week. So it hasn't been announced yet. I don't think it's going to be announced tomorrow, but Susan Miller leaked it to me earlier this week. And she told me not to share it with you guys till tonight. Corporate is offering next week 10% off all new orders, new enrollments of 150 BV or more. So your starter packs, 10% off and free enrollment. So all these folks that you've reached out to that have been fence sitters, this gives you something and a reason to reach back out. And also for them to go find other people. This is a good circle back with people you've enrolled recently who've said that maybe they'll be interested in the business, but they're trying the product for now. This is a great reason to reach out to them and be like, hey, I know you're trying out the products right now, but we've got a great promotion. I'd love for you to be able to share with your first 2 people and for them to get 10% off and free enrollment, right? So this is worth a conversation with all your product users and all your prospects because it's a huge savings. And so where I was saying is you can layer your tools on. The other thing we're offering every week now is the product overviews and the business overviews, right? So we've got product overviews on Tuesday nights and business overviews on Wednesday nights. Now, Susan is completely swamped with Boston right now, and she wants to circle back next Monday after Boston to really iron out our roster for who's going to present for those. So I told her that we would just keep that afloat until she gets done with Boston. So I'm hoping that one of the leaders on our team will lead on Tuesday night, and I'll be happy to lead the opportunity overview again on Wednesday night. My goal is between today and tomorrow to go ahead and get those flyers out for you guys so you can recruit now instead of last minute like it was last week. Because this is a huge week with the promotions. It's a huge week with pushing for Crystal Director. And so you need those resources, and I want you to keep that in mind now, because the other thing you can say to your product users and to people who've just gotten started, or even folks that you're enrolling this week, is, hey, I know you're just getting started, but we're doing an overview about the products on Tuesday night. If you've got anyone interested that may want to go on this journey with you, why don't you invite them to come learn about the products on Tuesday night? The same conversation can be said about the business. If you've enrolled someone who thinks that they're interested in the business or that they want to recruit for the business, same thing. Hey, we've got an opportunity overview on Wednesday night about the financial opportunity. I know you're brand spanking new, but you're interested in the business. Feel free to recruit or funnel in your prospects to listen to the business overview on Wednesday night. It's a great week with the promotions, and I'll be sure to have those announced on Tuesday night with the presentation. and have them announced on Wednesday night with the presentation too, that if you get started this week, you'll get 10% off and free enrollment. So you guys feeling like all these amazing like opportunities and tools this week to really get yourself over the hump and to create some massive action. Now, you guys, if you've been around a while, you know I love to throw in my own promo. So who would like to earn an extra $500 this week? Anybody like to earn an extra $500, right? Okay, so here's my challenge. Here's my challenge to all of you. Doesn't matter where you stand with consultants. The first person on this team to hit Crystal Director for the reset, to hit Crystal Director by Sunday, the first one to do it gets $500 from me. So just all you have to do is create some consultants. And the thing is, if you hit Crystal Director, not only are you getting $500 from me, but you're also getting the Crystal Director bonus, right? Who knows what the Crystal Director bonus is? Does anybody know? What is it, Christine?
1,500. And I do have a question about that too, actually.
Okay, so real quick, hang on. So if you get 1,500 from Isagenix and you get 500 from Melissa, you make $2,000 this week just in bonuses. That doesn't include your consultant creation bonuses. So if you're creating 6 consultants, 4 consultants, 3 consultants, you're getting $100 for each consultant that you create, right? So it really starts to add up, your PIBs and your cycles. Okay, go ahead, Christine.
So 2 things. If you have enrolled anybody with a value pack, you know how they get their enrollment codes? I guess nowadays Isagenix not only adds those in their back office, but they also send it out to them via email, because sometimes it might be a delay to show those coupons in the back office. And just FYI, those coupon codes are good for 100 BV, okay? My newest associate, Nikolai, he became a consultant, which another shout out for him as well, by using those free membership coupons in the back office. So just FYI, if you have like the fence sitters, even though with the 10%, 150 BV, they don't want to spend the money, right? If they have came in on a value pack, feel free to offer that to them. Just let them know. And then the second one is more of a question, but I feel like I have an answer, but I do want a validation. So I'm going to give an example. As a Crystal manager, you know, depending where you stand as let's say if you're an executive and you brought in 2 new people and they became consultant, which you qualify for Crystal manager. So you're doing the same with the Crystal Director bonus. However, if one of those newbies is inactive, you will not qualify for a Crystal Director, even though you may have other consultants already, like your old consultants on board. Like, you know, you may be paid as a director, like in general, but those new people, those 6 people that you brought on board, they have to be active at the same time. I believe even for like 1 day or 2 for you to actually qualify for Crystal Director. So I want everybody to be understand that, so you don't just create consultants and you kind of like forget about the old ones. So just anyways, just a reminder, because that's exactly what's happening with me this weekend. So
that's a really good point, Christine. It's all new consultants. So to get that new title, it has to be your new consultants, which really nurtures or supports the idea of not just creating temporary consultants that are kind of talked or faked or pretend. Like we can all, Amanda and I have talked about this before, with the amount of people I've enrolled in the past 2 months, it would have been really easy for me to hit the Crystal Manager bonus if I had talked to people just to hit the bonus. But that falls apart, right? So you want people to learn how to recruit for themselves, and you want them to be in it for the long haul. You want to be able to cast a vision that when they keep those 2 active accounts under them, they're going to keep unleashing that compensation plan where the company is going to continue to give them money back. So definitely, Christine, reach out to those people that are falling off the axle and see what you can do to get them active again. I had that conversation with the lady yesterday. She ordered 54 BV. She's never been a consultant before. And she ordered a whole 30-day system for her husband yesterday. So now I have a potential brand new consultant, but she's not active and she still needs to enroll one more person. I could easily take one of my enrollments and tuck under her, but it doesn't reinforce the behavior, right? Like I'm all about long haul, and I'm going to keep those enrollments for myself because you never know who's actually going to explode on your team, and you want those match cycles in the long haul when you're executive. So I'm right there.
And also, yeah, and then also with the smaller BV people, don't forget our customer first program. Like, remember, you may have 3 people buying in like a shake here, whatever, less than 100 BV. But if your right side or left side, if cumulative you have 100 BV, you are considered a consultant. Hopefully this makes sense to you guys. Mm-hmm. So you have to have 100 BV active on each side to be considered a consultant. So maybe you have 3 people on your left side and they're all order like 30 BV each, 40 BV each. Who cares? Total is 100 and you were still qualifying as paid as consultant. So don't forget that. I know we haven't talked about this for a long time, but it is something to also keep in mind as well.
Oh, that's a great point, Christine. Thank you for bringing that up. Great point. All right. So that's, you guys, so there's some great resource. Now, who remembers, I also have a promo going. Tammy Fry won the first one for Who Hit Crystal Manager. Tammy, you still need to give me your wish list for your Isagenix business tools. The first person to hit Crystal Manager got a $50 towards Isagenix business tools from me. And that still stands for Director as well. The first to hit Director gets the $50 towards Isagenix business tools. And for anyone who hits Crystal Executive, I'm actually paying for a photo shoot for you, a professional photo shoot. Everybody needs new headshots. And I think that if you push to Crystal Executive during this rapid reset, then you deserve new headshots. So don't forget about all of that either. So this is just a huge week for us to push, for us to hold each other accountable, and to really begin mapping it out and having conversations tonight, having conversations tomorrow, going through your list of fence sitters, going through your list of people that you've invited to overviews last week, people you're inviting to overviews this week, making sure your downline and your product users know about the promotion for people to share. The promotion's great to share with your product users if you're enticing them to become consultant. Tell them about the promotion and how if they've got anyone who wants more energy, needs to lose weight, better mental clarity, better performance, that this is the best time to get started and you can help them unleash the compensation plan to get their products for free. So definitely revisit that conversation. Okay, 2 final things. And that is ISA, okay, ISA U and ISA University. I wanted to give you guys some dates. I have not been to a UIA, ISA U and UIA, there we go. I haven't never been to an ISA U. I know that you have, Christine. I know they're amazing. My goal this year is to go to a UIA and go to ISA U. I wanted to give you guys the dates because a lot of GET is going. The leadership team was texting back and forth this weekend about how we need to start moving from event to event to event, not just the big, not just NYKO and celebration. So I'm going to tell you the dates that the GET team is really focused on going. University in Action is all about personal development. It is amazing. It is the event that flipped the switch for me. It is the event that took me from dabbler to financially free. I walked away from that event and I was unshakable, unstoppable, bulletproof, never stopped till I got to where I needed to be. So if you need a swift kick in the rear, if you need, 2 or 3 days of just, deep soul searching and self identification of your why, what motivates you, phenomenal skill sets in building the business. It is an incredible program. There's a UIA in Toronto, October 3rd through the 5th. Now there's one in DC too, if you want to drive and save money, October 11th through the 13th. Carol Elizabeth is hugely pushing for GET to come to Toronto. The tickets are actually like half the price because of the conversion to the Canadian dollar. She's saying that it's actually a pretty inexpensive trip versus being in the US. And she's pushing for us all to come to that one. She'll be there. I think a lot of Get will be there October 3rd through the 5th, but I highly recommend, if you really want this as a major business for yourself, invest in this, because it could be the thing that changes for you. And then there's ICU. There's an ICU May 2nd through the 4th in Atlantic City. And that's the one that Susan and Chelsea and I are probably going to go to. It's my anniversary. It's my 10-year anniversary with my husband on May 2nd. But we're actually going to Ireland in July. So we're in discussion about whether I'm going or not. But my plan is to go. And that is in Atlantic City. There's also one in Vegas, same day, May 2nd through the 4th. So if you're up for some fun and you just want a reason to go do, stay an extra day and do something fun, go to Vegas. But Susan's going to be moving Chelsea and Philly, so she's going to Atlantic City. So ICU is Christine, do you want to talk for a second about ICU? Because I've never actually been. Do you want to just spend a minute explaining to people what it's all about?
Yeah, ICU is a very good. So think of NYKO in a smaller scale, you guys. And usually even Couvers do train. So it's a smaller scale. It's all training. It's all business training. There's no new product launch or anything like that, so don't think of it as that. But this is more of like, think of Super Saturday, business training, and I love it. And just FYI, in the past they used to have a couple of them throughout the year, but this year I did hear one of the corporate Zooms. May 2nd to the 4th is the only day they are going to offer in 2019. Right. One in West Coast and one in East Coast. So my goal is to be there with all my West Coast team to Vegas. And we even talked about renting a big party bus and just driving from LA to Vegas. So Louisa, maybe we can stop by to Arizona, pick you up on the way. But yeah, there's not going to be any more. And they're completely different from UIA that Melissa was talking about. So if you're thinking about personal development that she was talking about, that is definitely, you don't want to miss the UIA. Business training, building your business, this is the opportunity. And it's a perfect timing between NYKO and Celebration. That's why if you want to stay in the game, you don't want to miss this event. And their tickets are extremely cheap. I mean, it's like $140 or not. So just kind of, it's an investment. So definitely, and it's only like 2 days, you guys. Short trip, nothing fancy, just show up, learn, and leave. So bring your team.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So the last thing I was going to announce, and then we'll jump into Q&A for anybody who wants to ask questions and do some group think, is around Celebration. So in the past, I think last year at Celebration, we did a big spa event for people who are pushing for executive. And those who met the qualifications, or there were also some other corporate promotions that they met those qualifications, they got to come in a day early and we pampered folks at the spa. Now, I'm huge on after action reviews. It's just my personality from leadership over the years, is to like get feedback on what works and what doesn't. And the feedback I got over and over again from you guys was, as much as you loved being pampered and how cool it was, if you had a choice in how I invested my money, that you would rather me take that money and invest it in your business versus an extra day away from your family. So the feedback I got was, if I hit a certain thing like a Crystal Director or Crystal Executive and I'm running a promotion, you would rather me pay for your flight to an event than for me to pamper you a day in advance. As cool as that really is, we're already taking you away from family, and many of you work full time, so you're having to take another day off. So that's just the feedback I've received from you guys, and I agree 100%. I think it's a great return on investment, and I love pouring into people who are really showing up, and I think it's a really good investment. So having said that, I wanted to go ahead and get it out there. I was approached by my upline about doing a big event at Celebration this year, and it will be the day before Celebration starts. And they are really kind and really sweet and asked me if I wanted to participate. And I just wanted to let you guys know up front that I told them that I've chosen not to participate financially and contributing and being a part of it because I really wanted to invest my money the way the team had given me feedback that they wanted me to invest in them. And so I'm not sure exactly how they're going to handle it because I know that a number of you guys are kind of straddled between my team and, really being involved in the Residual Rockstars team, which is completely awesome. I think it's phenomenal. But I don't know how they're going to handle that as far as if you're on my team, like what they're going to do, because I don't think they're not going to allow you to go. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But I just wanted you guys to hear from me why I've chosen not to do it, that I just don't feel it's the best investment in my money to be paying for professional photographers for social media and for the event itself, when my team's giving me feedback that they would rather have things like their event tickets paid for or their flights paid for or hotels paid for and investing in their business. So just wanted to get that out and let you guys know that that's just what I've decided to do based on the feedback. So we'll see, to be continued. I haven't really heard what they've decided as far as how they're going to handle that with the folks who are really heavily involved with Residual Rockstars as well. So absolutely, Christine. And that's what I love about our business is like each one of us gets to build it exactly how we want to, right? Like you get to run it and do it the way you want to. And this is just how I choose to do it, right? So, all right, so let's turn it over. And so to be continued, I'll keep you guys updated on that. Let's turn it over to questions. Who has brought, because for the next 20 minutes, let's see if my math is right, 15, 20, 25 minutes if you guys want. I'd love to hear challenges, like what's going on out there that's giving you some wall-kicking moments that you want some coaching on. We've got some superstars here on the line, and all of you are superstars. All of you have had successes and you've had challenges. I'd love to hear some of your challenges tonight, and we can talk about them. Who wants to go?
I'll go.
Go, girl.
So this is just kind of going back to being paralyzed when you have too many resources. Okay. And I really want people who've been doing this for a little bit longer to remember the day when you started, and we may even have like one or two resources. I personally felt like I was being more, like I knew what I was doing, if that makes sense, because it was only, let's say, one Facebook page and one prospecting page, and we're like, just go, just do it, right? And we're just doing that. But now we have a lot of resources, and like Melissa was saying, like we have Residual Rockstars, we have the Ramp Effect, we have the Get Fit. So I don't want people, it's not more of a question, but it's more of like reminding you, these are tools for you to have. But don't get paralyzed and be stuck of like, which one do I do? Just pick one and go, okay? So I want to make sure you guys understand the difference between coaching and mentoring, because I was actually just listening to a podcast and this just kind of hit home like right away, because Melissa is an amazing coach and a mentor, but what she does may not work for me, but I know exactly what she does and works for her. So I'm going to take her advice. I'm going to be coachable. I'm going to listen to her, and she's going to definitely mentor me to get to my goals. But I'm going to have to tweak things here and there to make it work for me. Okay. So don't try to become Susan Miller, Jessica Johnson, or Amanda, or like Melissa or Renee. Don't. So use their coaching and mentorship, but find your own way of doing it. And if one more person on our team asks me, like, if somebody is interested in a product, what video do I send? You guys, I might like have a heart attack if people ask me that question again. Like seriously, just go. I'm not trying to be like mean or anything, but I'm trying to be realistic, just get into an action. The person is asking you a question, they don't even know what options are out there. Just send them something, just do something. Right. But again, figure out what works for you, because I've seen this happen with a lot of teammates in our own team, even my own personal team too. They get paralyzed with all these resources.
Yep.
And they will ask like, what do you do? Should I do this? How about this? I'm like, just do it.
Right.
Anyway, just kind of, it is very important in our business, especially if you're really growing, especially if you're trying to step out of your own comfort zone. You have to find a way what works for you by watching the leaders who've done it first and, you know, just duplicating. If it works for you too, just duplicate the same thing. Like Melissa was saying, don't reinvent the wheel if you don't have a presentation. I was actually just going to use her same presentation and just change the title and put my name on it and present, because I have no time to prepare for it. But now I don't even have to do a presentation because we're going to be outdoors. So we're going to think of something else. Again, just kind of like throwing it out there because it does happen, especially when we're busy. Like most of us have full-time jobs and family. Time is precious, you guys. So anyways, just wanted to throw it out there, a little bit of a honest truth bomb here.
No, it's so true, Christine. And like that is the biggest reason I have consolidated everything that I do and streamlined. And you guys are seeing as much value. I find tremendous value in Amanda Ham and Renee Schreibman. And I love my entire upline. It's nothing personal at all, but it goes back to being overly resourced. So, you know, I personally streamline everything to get, because, and Renee has a phenomenal website. It's phenomenal. The problem is I confuse people when I'm like, we've got this website, we've got that website. You choose. People are like, I don't give them a choice. I just say, we've got this website. Right? So, but you bring up a really great point because I have to remind myself of this too. So I'm glad you brought this up. I try really hard to stick to the Global Exec Team page for everything. So for instance, Karam, who I just enrolled like last week or 2 weeks ago, he's starting tomorrow. And the guy messaged me today and was like, I'm getting started tomorrow. You know, any tips or, you know, can we touch base for a quick minute about what I'm, you know, what to expect? Well, I'd already emailed him the welcome email with the link to the Global Exec page with step 1 on the, you know, getting started. I could have given him 10 or 15 minutes of my time. I could have picked up the phone and called him and talked him through everything. But the thing is, first of all, he's interested in the business. And so I need to show him how duplicatable this is by removing myself from this completely. So I picked up the link again to step 1 on the Global Exec Team page, and I fired it off to him and I said, hey, remember that email I sent you? Here's that link. Go in there and click on open your box, click on shake days and cleanse days. If you're a tech person, it'll tell you how to download the IsoLife app and you can track that way. If you're a pen and paper person, you can download the PDF for tracking your shake days and your cleanse days. Guys, I'm making it duplicatable. I do that with every single person that I enroll now. Every single one. Are there 12,000 other resources out there that coach to this? Yes. Are there 12,000 web pages like threads and all kinds of stuff? Yes. Would I make it really confusing for the people I pull in or enroll if I like am switching it up and doing things differently every time? Absolutely. They're going to feel lost. So stick with what works for you and make it duplicatable. I mean, that's the easiest thing I can say. So Louisa has another question. Let's see. My question is more regarding prospects and enrollees who going radio silent, unsure how I should push. Okay, this is great, Louisa. This is why I try to drop into our feed my conversations with people from LinkedIn, because you'll see that like I message someone in January and I get a response like yesterday. And this is, if you're using LinkedIn, this is very common. You know, you have to keep in mind that this is a complete cold market. And so what I do, Louisa, is I actually have a policy in Asana, which is my CRM that I'm tracking all of my prospects in. The first touch with them, when I ask them to take a look or they said they're interested, maybe they reach out to me or I reach out to them. Either way, they've expressed interest. I put a reminder in my calendar for 2 days to follow up. And then after 2 days, I put a reminder in my calendar for 2 weeks. So when I follow up in 2 days, if they don't respond, I give them a 2-week breather. and then I follow back up in 2 weeks. And if they don't respond then, I table out for 2 full months. And then I circle back with them. I didn't post in the thread today. I wanted to share it with you guys, but some of the verbiage I use sometimes, Louisa, I'm going to share it with you. I put the ball in their court, and I give them the opportunity to change their mind if it's like not something that we're interested in anymore. So for instance, this chick, let me go back to the original. I messaged Danielle on January 16th. Okay. Asked her to take a look at a video. And she said yes on that same day, January 16th. Okay. We went back and forth. I sent her the videos, and then I never heard from her, right? For a month. Part of it's on me. I never followed up. She said she looked at the videos. I sent her the videos, and then 4 weeks went by. I sent her a message on February 15th. She never responded. Okay. On February 15th, I reminded myself to follow up in 2 days. I sent her, here's the message I sent her 2 days after that one. Hi, Danielle. I just wanted to circle back one more time before taking you off my follow-up list. So see, this kind of puts the heat on them. If they're somewhat interested, they don't want you to take them off their follow-up list. If they're not interested, they're going to say, okay, take me off your follow-up list. I just wanted to circle back one more time before taking you off my follow-up list. We have similar backgrounds, and I thought for sure my video would resonate with you. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to connect, but totally okay with taking you off my follow-up list as well. I certainly don't want to be a nag. Okay? I mean, that's like, pretty fair. Her response, hi, you aren't a nag at all. Sorry, I started a new job, so I've been getting accustomed to that. I'd love to connect. Let me know when. So my point here, Louisa, is that we have to be consistent in our follow-ups because people are depending on us to follow up. That's how we get our enrollments. People don't just jump on board. As long as you're creating a brand in the background through LinkedIn, which I know you are, that kind of piques their interest and reminds them that you messaged them, and have a way of following up in Asana in a timely manner, but then put some heat on them when they don't. Say, give them the free pass to change their mind by saying, I'm happy to take you off my follow-up list because I don't want to be a nag. I use that all the time when it's driving me bonkers that people have gone radio silent on me. And how many people have acted like they were totally excited and then they just disappear? It drives me nuts. Is that helpful, Louisa, or do you want more on that? Do you guys want me to post that verbiage in our thread, the whole nag thing? Yes. Okay. Let me post it. Yeah. You just have to be consistent because it's like the fourth or fifth touch before people like will jump on the phone, and it's crazy. It's crazy to think how many enrollments I would have lost if I just never followed up again. So there's my example. I just dropped it in there for you guys. And it was a month, 4 weeks went by where neither one of us talked to each other. So the thing I want to tell you is, unless people say, I'm not interested, they're just busy. They're just busy. It's not a priority. They don't know what they're missing, and you need to continue following up. But on occasion, give them a free pass to ask them if they want you to take them off your follow-up list. I think about myself with the doTERRA girl before we offered oils. I mean, gosh, that poor girl must have followed up with me for like 6 months. And I actually wanted the oils. I did. It just wasn't a priority in my life, and things were crazy. And she finally, after following up with me like 6 times, got me on her like biggest pack. I'm just like, here's my credit card. I just want everything. Send it to me, right? And it just took her being persistent. And when the time was finally right and I had 2 seconds, it happened. Okay, what other questions do you guys have? Because that's a great one, man. That is like the bread and butter of our business. Yes, can we have them all in one document so we know where to go to? Thanks so much. Yeah. like all the, that's a great idea. I could put it like in a Google Share document or something. Um, okay.
Hey, Melissa, can I pipe up? Can you hear me?
Yes, please do.
Sorry, I can't camera on, but I thought I was talking earlier, but I had a different mic plugged in. So one, I just want to say shout out to you doing that incredible event in Charlotte with Jessica, and then thank you for your leadership and for listening to your team and what works best for everyone. And then I did UIA, I did all the core 4 events, and one thing I just wanted to say is, I think it was my first or second week in Isagenix. I actually went for the part I could go to in DC. And I think that was a university. No, it was the university one. It wasn't the UIA, but it was totally worth just being there, because that was back when Peter Kelly, Eric Coover, and the Coovers like went to these small events, and it was in DC. So I would recommend anyone to go to that one. And then I also did the UIA one in Chicago, and I, everything Christine said, I think it was just another layer on top of another layer of the mindset of what you needed to be unshakable. So those were very important for events, but so I wanted to add that. But as far as like the, sorry, I'm not in my normal place. The mindset around this LinkedIn audience and business builders in general, it is like completely different work. And if I can be completely honest here, the amount of self-development and inspirational listening that I'm doing is probably twice as much as what I normally do just to deal with this caliber of people. Because it's like a bigger, it's like, and you do this, and for anyone who is really talking all business, it's on a whole different level of evaluation, as if they're really looking at it for what we know it is. And it takes a lot of that being unshakable to know what we have is solid. And I have probably been more consistent with, like I probably had 2 or 3 conversations this week. It's harder to keep them short. It's just a different phase, and it can be very discouraging if you're not filled up with just inspiration. So for those of you who have been pushing, as hard as Melissa and as hard as I have, and if you don't have the enrollments yet, I'm saying this also to myself, like just to keep going.
Yep. Because
I know that the caliber of people that will come in from this will be powerful, but you can't do that if you're not working on yourself and constantly like I can't tell you, like today was just it's been like a crazy weekend. But it was important for me to be on the call, whether I can, like camera on or not. And, thank you for doing those shout outs that normally I would do, but it's like, you have to keep showing up, because I'll be honest with you, like I've seen a lot of your messages and I haven't replied. Like normally I do, but I just wasn't where I needed to be, because I've had so many of these conversations with people who are close and they want it. And, I'm attracting these people, but they are just, it is just, I'm rambling now, but it's just a different level of intention.
Yep.
So
yeah, no, it's so true, Melva. They're looking at it with a different eye because it's a financial opportunity. It's
right.
It's not about losing 20 pounds, right? And so the thing I will tell you, and I did it, Murray Miller, I've done a couple of 3-ways with him, and he's been great with these folks. So let me know, you guys, if you've got like a high caliber candidate or prospect on LinkedIn, let me know, because I can get Murray on the line. He does a really good job. But like I had a guy, Karam, he's PhD in nutrition of some sort, the biology of nutrition. Oh my gosh, we had like 3 calls. And I mean, he did research on the science. He did research on the owners. He did research on the compensation plan. And, at the end of the day, Murray just said, look, Karam, you have absolutely, this is what I would say, guys, to any prospect on LinkedIn, you have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. You are literally eating your investment. The cost is essentially $29, and it's even free if you come in on a value pack, which I would suggest at a minimum. You eat the rest of it completely. And if you don't get the results that you're looking for in the first 30 days, you send back empty canisters and you get your money back. But the flip side is you could be exposed to a business model and a product that could completely change your life, all for $29, right? And so I think it's putting it back in their hands, like, why wouldn't you do this, right? And that's what Murray says is it's like, my team is growing quickly. And we've talked about the compensation model, and the sooner you come in, the more volume is going to be running through your center when you decide to build. We have a lot of people on LinkedIn who want to get a position or thinking about the business, but they're not really ready yet. And that same conversation is, look, you might not be ready to build a business for 6 months. Maybe you just started a new job, but maybe you just started a new job because you lost your last one. So job security isn't that great. But I get that you can't focus on this business right now. I think that we have to dispel that the moment they come in, they've got to hit the ground running and make $1 million, right? So what I tell people is, I get it. You lost your job and now you've got a new one and it's paying the bills. But the best thing you can do right now is secure your position on my team and eat the food, get healthy, build your confidence in the product because you're going to see amazing results. And when you're ready to build, you'll have a huge investment in your back office already with the team that's been growing because you're a part of the committed consumer model whenever you're ready to start. So those are some of the conversations that I have.
Yeah, that's great. That's great verbiage. So that's great. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So, and if you guys want me to write some of that up, I certainly can. I would also suggest, you guys have to think about it too, also as are these people folks we should be getting on three-ways with, right?
Yeah.
How many of you guys have had a business three-way call, right? I know when I first got started, I had at least 10 three-way calls with Amanda Ham on the product before I ever flew by myself talking about the product. So for Melva and Louisa, which I know you guys are getting nibbles on LinkedIn, I would highly suggest pulling me in just so you can see the verbiage and how I work the angles. And you can take notes just like you would a product prospecting call, right? So I would suggest that too.
Yeah. I think that's solid. So thank you.
Cool beans. Okay, please post verbiage from Murray too. I will as soon as they respond back. Ha ha ha. Yeah. So I think that the thing with LinkedIn, from my perspective and what I've experienced, is that there's more follow-ups and the timeline is longer, right? Typically in Facebook, it's somebody it's somebody where in LinkedIn, many times you have to build that rapport before you get them in. But the difference is when you bring someone in who came in for the business, you've just jumped 6 months ahead versus someone who came in for the product and then you're trying to convince them of the business, right? But having said that, LinkedIn isn't for everyone too. I don't want you guys to feel like it's the end all be all. I think that network marketing is about you working your network, right? And so where you feel you have the most success with your network may not be LinkedIn. It may be Instagram. It may be at church. It may be on Facebook. It could be on Twitter for all I know, right? I've never used Twitter before, but, so that's something to keep in mind too. All right. What other challenges do you guys have? I'm taking notes on LinkedIn. You guys want the Murray verbiage. So investing now. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can now. Who's that?
It's Jenny Feeler. I'm listed as iPhone right now.
Hey.
I'm new. I don't know if I access the camera. I'm new at this.
There you are.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
I'm new. I came in late on this because I was actually on a call for a value pack, and I'm like, I gotta call you back. So what I need to find out, and sorry, it's gonna be repetitive for most of you that were on here on time. You mentioned that there's a new 10% discount being launched.
Yes.
Promotion.
Uh-huh.
When does that start?
It starts tomorrow.
Okay, so if I were going to enroll one tonight, I should wait till tomorrow?
Well, it depends if you already have another enrollment this week. You don't want to miss out on your PIBs.
I do have another enrollment, and my other thing that I'm concerned with is I know where people are with Crystal, or I would assume I know where they are. I don't want it to affect someone else if I'm waiting a day, because it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I mean, if you've already got an enrollment, I never give away PIBs. Plus, people can say they're ready, and then like they flake on you, and then you don't get the information, and you don't get the enrollment on Monday.
Yeah, this one's my daughter, so she's not allowed to flake like everybody else could.
Right. Gotcha.
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's great. So it starts tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I had another one that I just actually shot her a message and said, hey, I just jumped on a webinar. I think I caught wind of a promotion. We might have to hold off a day because she would be a heavy hitter for me if I can turn her on business, but I need to get her husband going first, and then the rest will fall in place.
Awesome.
Okay, so I just needed to know what the difference would be, because that'll be my second one this week. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm better off to get it in before midnight tonight.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if it's your daughter and you're feeling bad about her not getting the 10%, the other thing you could do is you're going to get a $200 for that referral bonus. What was the other pack that you put in?
It was a value pack.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So you're going to get 400 in PIBs, and will this make you a consultant?
Yes.
Okay. So you've also got the extra consultant bonus. So you're going to get 400 and another 150. So that's 550, which is way more than anything she'd get with 10% off on her products tomorrow. So maybe you just throw her, part of your bonus. That would be my suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all. I just wanted to make sure. And I kind of felt like other people are racing their clocks too. So it might be just smarter for team building to stay with my original plan. But I actually just got that message back. Okay, super. So the one that I know, if she sees it and comes in, we'll do hers tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
Perfect. And I'm sorry, and you said, what's your name again, Jenny?
So I'm Jenny Feeler. I'm a Jennifer Bartram.
Welcome.
Is the one brought me in. Thank you. And just a quick history. We're about a month into products. They have brought my husband back to life. He was literally a bullfrog because he has a handicapped left foot. And so when you're in chronic pain, you tend to not move and do anything. And it was just a very vicious cycle. So when I saw Jennifer's post on the joint stuff, I'm like, okay, I got to do something. But we never had the expectations of from day one feeling like we feel. And I'm like the best yo-yo dieter that ever was back in the 80s and 90s. So I feel like I'm a fair judge there. And so his testament, like he's to life. Like he went for a walk at 4:00 this morning, which he shouldn't probably be walking at, but then he went swimming at 11. So he's down 23 pounds.
Wow.
I'm probably only at about 9, but I'm okay with that. I'd rather have him back to life than me feel the way I feel. So
yeah, that's awesome. Those are the stories we love to hear.
So yeah, and we'll be able to share him because his name's not Jeremiah the bullfrog, it's Carl. But I think that it's real, it's raw. So
I hope you got his before pictures. You're gonna be at the event this coming weekend?
This Saturday we'll be there. We've got a group coming down. So
that's awesome.
We're still working on that. So have we hit 50 yet for that? Do you know?
I have no idea. You'll have to ask Jennifer. Yeah.
I'll find out because I think we have a couple more to add. So
awesome. That's
okay,
so
well, I appreciate it. Sorry for everybody that already heard that information. Maybe someone helped, but definitely needed to be able to respond. So thank you.
Yes, perfect. I think you've got the perfect strategy. And then now we'll just share the promo with all our friends who haven't enrolled starting tomorrow. Awesome. Well, it is 9:47, guys. So I am going to call it a night. Hopefully this has been helpful. Christine, I agree. I think that I need to put some scripts together. I put scripts together a long time ago, and Renee saved them and put them in some file somewhere. but it has definitely evolved for me. So I'm happy to do that. That output on that might not be until after our Super Saturday this coming weekend. But I'm happy to do that. And I'm also more than happy to do 3-way calls with you guys for anyone that you get interest on LinkedIn. So don't forget that we have our opportunity overviews for the product Tuesday night, for the business Wednesday night. Use this as an opportunity to invite your prospects to take a look on Tuesday, and then even follow up and take a look on Wednesday if they want to learn more about the business as well. And we can kind of two-punch them and offer them the promo at the same time. So it's just a phenomenal week for that. All right, guys, have an awesome night, and hopefully we'll catch you on the Get Call tomorrow morning. All right, bye-bye.